That's where he kind of miskicks it. But then now you can see he's going to point where he wants it. Look, there he wants it there. You know, and so he's so tight on the line, but then his control is so good. And, you know, he's past him now, you know, and then he kind of grabs him, slows him down a bit. But then once he stops him, it's the touches out. 1, 2, 3, and he's in. You know, it's a penalty if he touches him, and the composure to then pass it to him. It's beautiful, beautiful football.
I think early in the tournament we kind of felt he's lost that little bit of acceleration. He definitely still has it. He has it in a moment, and obviously he picks and chooses. That's why he's so smart. And then on top of the brilliant run, he's got the composure to pick out a pass for a one-touch finish. Brilliant.
Maybe that's why he walks about so much in the game, just saving energy.
I watched him 10 years ago destroy United, or 12 years ago, in 2 Champions League finals. Absolutely incredible, completely different player than he is now. But what mesmerises me about him, the skill we've seen for many, many years, but Guardiola must be 13, 14 stone, 6'3", and he's literally almost like ragdolling him and pushing him away. No sense of how you do that with the ball at your feet, running at full speed, whilst twisting and turning. It's unbelievable. It's mesmerising to watch.
And in that moment, Messi's thinking I can get away from him. Then he's going, I can't quite get away from him, but I'm not worried if I've just then got to slow up, and then I can beat him again.
He had, I say, you know, 12 years ago he was going past people and you weren't getting back. Now he's having to do it in a different way, but he's adapting to the elder part of his career. Still obviously massively relevant in moments in matches where he used to be the focal point of most attacks. Now to be fair, he can go sleeping for 15-20 minutes in matches and then just come alive.
But what's he done as well there is that, for us, like you said, how big he is and how big and strong he is, but once he's slowed him down and the way he's manipulated the ball in such a tight area, that guy is not going to be able to turn that quickly. He knows that. He knows how to bring a guy into an area where he can finish him.
It's that arm he puts there that keeps a guy that's like probably 2 or 3 stone heavier than him away from him. That guy should just be. He can't.
But he'll read a situation. This is where his intelligence. He's so smart. He'll read a situation with a defender like that. If he feels somebody's too tight, that's when he'll roll him. Yeah. Players are then frightened to death. They'll drop off, and then you give him time and space. He will pick the right pass.
I think if we're going to be fair, what he's done for PSG in the Champions League over the last 18 months, 2 years, this has probably come as a bit of a pleasant surprise, hasn't it? That he's been this good in this short space of time.
It does feel like a mission, doesn't it, the World Cup, to him and to the rest of his team now, who, to be fair, are so collective around him in terms of how saying we're going to keep a clean sheet, we're going to be horrible to play against, we're going to do everything right, and then he'll go and win us the game, he'll do something, and that's what's happening.
I think with Messi, as much as PSG have brought him and they've got obviously Mbappe and Neymar, Messi's like mantra in the world of football, like Maradona's, you know, like Pele, like all those guys, Zidane, R9, is to win the World Cup. And that's why you'll probably see, when you see him in this scenario, he's at his very best. He's at his very best.
At PSG, there's 3 of them hanging up there doing nothing. You wouldn't do that. If he had 2 of them, he's got subservience here. The rest of his teammates are all putting in a massive shift for him. Yeah. And that's what he needs. And I think with PSG, there's 2 or 3 others up there that are, to be fair, and you can't carry 3, 4 without the ball. You can carry 1 without the ball. And that's what Argentina are doing. So well done to those other players. Incredible in terms of what they're doing. But
and, you know, the young manager deserves huge credit. Absolutely. Considering the pressure he was under at the start of the tournament with a bit of a setback. He's managed the group well, he's made changes. They are now more of a workman-like team. The first game, it was like too easy for him, they were too open. He's got him sorted, so he deserves huge credit.
Because we mentioned Alvarez before the game, that's absolutely justified, isn't it?
Same as Fernandes, 2 young players in such a big game come in and they've done the business for him.
About Croatia, they played, I think, in the way that we anticipated. They were very neat on the ball, they manipulated well, they kept it very neatly in midfield, but they never looked like scoring, did they? If you're Croatian Federation in your under-17s, under-21s, you're thinking, if we only could get a centre-forward in our team.
Yeah, one of their strengths, I suppose, is how they control games. But they've got... You don't want to be too hard on Croatia because they've been magnificent. But it was when when they were desperate to get a goal, they weren't getting enough bodies forward, players were isolated, not enough players running off the ball. We see these clips here. That's where it's obviously frustrating. And again, the strength is the control in the middle of the park. But when they were 1 or 2 goals behind, you just knew there was no way back from. Not enough bodies forward, not enough of a goal threat.
They seem reluctant to shoot.
It did seem to be.
But even when you get into a situation like this, you think you just shoot or lay into him. You know, he can lay into there. He's got a shot. They didn't take advantage of the little moments that they had. Those little moments at this level, the margins are so small. You have to take advantage of them, and they didn't. They haven't got the striker to do it as well.
Their decision making in the final third certainly wasn't good enough, and that's where they were found out tonight. Just obviously need to be better.
They're punching well above the weight to even be here. It's unbelievable what they've done to get here.
They've actually only won one game at this World Cup, and they could come third. I think that says it all, does it? The fact that the paucity of goals and the lack of wins has been borne out by what's happened this evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what they've done and what Morocco have done is punch well above the weight, and then I don't think we can be critical of Croatia or Morocco, whatever happens. And Argentina tonight have blown them away through magic moments and a really good performance. And you don't know what's going to happen with Morocco tomorrow, but they're up against an exceptional team in France.
Let's get back down to pitch side to get the views of Karen Carney, who's with Laura Woods.
Mark, thank you very much. We've been in a pretty privileged position, I have to say, being a witness inside this stadium and listening to how loud it was the entire game, and the stands just absolutely erupting. They didn't stop moving in areas of this stadium. It just shows you, Karen, how much it means to this nation, Argentina, to be into the final of the World Cup.
I think you saw it from the players when they went over to that stand in particular, and I thought we were never going to get them off the pitch. But yeah, they were mesmerising the fans, and rightly the players went up to them at the end.
Rightly so. You guys in the studio obviously been speaking about the third goal that went in. The second goal was pretty special as well. I know you wanted to talk about it, where Messi picked the ball up from and the finish and actually getting down and scoring that goal, Karen.
Yeah, I mean, you earn your look by getting your defensive shape right, and they did that really, really well. And you get your little bit of luck as well. So it came in from this set piece. You get out Alvarez, you press the ball, that's your job. Good little block, and then Messi picks up the ball, puts him on his way there, that little touch away. And then it's from the halfway line, and look at the distance that he's travelled. And in football, you get some luck, but you earn it. And he's travelled all that way. The defending, yeah, it was poor, but look, tonight it was Argentina's night. There's a little ricochets, not once, not twice, but look, they have the numbers up there as well. I think tonight Argentina, not saying Croatia didn't want it, but there was something more in between the teeth of Argentina, and again goes back to the fans as well that really pushed them on.
Sometimes you get a little bit of luck, like we saw there. What about the penalty? Because I noticed it divided everybody in the studio. Ali McCoy's is in commentary saying, no, it was the right decision. Karen, I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think?
What bus do I want to get on tonight is the question. I'm going to back the commentary team. I think it's a penalty. And the reason what Ali said in the commentary as well, that yes, I think this wasn't a good finish. He mishit it. I agree with him right there. But he could then not get on the end of the ball. So for me, it was a foul, and there's nothing else the centre forward could do, let alone a goalkeeper. And look, penalties there, and just Messi. I mean, we've all spoke about Messi, but to see him live, I've never seen him play live for his country. He blew me even more away tonight. Just, I know we talk about him moving around and he's into positions, but the moments, it's hard to describe as a player when you're watching it. When you see him live and he does it in those moments when it really counts, it's breathtaking.
He has the chance on Sunday to become the greatest ever. It's such a huge occasion, isn't it? Argentina into a World Cup final. We'll find out tomorrow who they play, of course, but just that on its own, Karen, is going to be special.
It really is. They've celebrated tonight, and they know how massive that was, and they're just one game away from winning the World Cup now.
Just a word on Modric as well. Maybe the last time we see him play for Croatia, definitely probably the last time we see him in a World Cup. Not the send-off, I suppose, that any Croatian in this stadium wanted, but some player, Karen.
He did, and again, we're close to the pitch there, and we saw him kind of holding his hands in his head. He knows that's a big opportunity missed, and what a player he is. And to be fair to the Croatian fans, they shouted legend as he walked off, and he absolutely is, and an unbelievable player. But unfortunately, tonight wasn't his night, and the guys in the studio highlighted that you can be the best midfielder in the world, but you need someone to play it to. You need a centre forward.
All right, thank you, Karen. One legend out, one legend through to the World Cup final.
30 extra flights being put on from Morocco tomorrow. 13,000 free tickets, we believe, being distributed by the Moroccan FA. So many Moroccan fans who are in town for this game. Gary, they've conceded one goal in 5 games. That was an own goal. They've kept clean sheets against Croatia, Spain, Belgium and Portugal. They've got a few injuries. Nothing's confirmed yet. Can they do it?
They can do it. I mean, they're defending, obviously, you just mentioned the stats there are unbelievable, but the tenacity in their defending, the way in which they go about their business. What impresses me most, actually, is when they win it back. Having played in a team that sat back in tournaments quite a bit and play quite deep like they do, they shift out quickly, but they also try and play out through triangles and try and play up the pitch, whereas I think some teams that play deep, they end up just whacking it long. They don't do that. They've been unbelievable in this tournament. It is the story of the tournament, and I think it'll be one step too far for them. I think France will beat them, but they could do it.
I think a lot of people, thought it'd be one step too far against Portugal after we'd seen Portugal put 6 past Switzerland. So It just makes you think, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because they're on the threshold of great things. They've already achieved unbelievable things, and you like to think that they feel that they can do it. You know, you look at Boufal and Ziyech against their fullbacks; they can cause problems. I think Amrabat is going to have to do a job on Griezmann, but this is the time. This is the time where you go and you just go forth and write yourself a page, you know, in history. I think I'm not going to write them off. No way.
I'm looking forward to Hakimi against Mbappe, because they are teammates, of course, in Paris. That is going to be a great tussle.
Huge battles, of course, and we talk about spirit and fight. That's not enough to get to a World Cup semi-final. They've showed great quality, but you just think the French attacking players will turn up. We saw Argentina attacking players turn up for the big occasion semi-final, and you think it'll be very difficult to stop the French attacking players because they're so good. But it's been an amazing story, but I think it's coming to an end.
What I saw Saka do to Hernandez, and what Harry Kane could have done if you get the ball in and around Upamecano, if you can get it around him, running at him, you know what I mean, anything could happen. And the way they're defending, if they can get something.
Ziyech against Hernandez, after what Saka did to Hernandez?
Exactly.
I know we're trying to make a case for but that's right that we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, let's hope they go and do it. It'll be the most incredible story of all time. I just don't think France will make the mistakes that Portugal made. I mentioned before about Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva. They ended up coming this side of the whole of the Moroccan team to get on the ball. That's perfect for Morocco. You need to stay patient in the spaces in between them and work the positions, and I think Griezmann will do that. The two wide players won't come deep to get on the ball for France, Dembele and Mbappe. They'll stay on the last line. They'll wait for those moments, because that's what I think they're a more experienced team than Portugal are.
They might be able to stop one of the brilliant attacking players. Obviously, we're talking three of us, Giroud, Griezmann and Mbappe, but one or two of them will come alive, obviously. We saw that against England. Even Giroud was having a quiet game, pops up, and one or two of them will do the damage tomorrow.
Well, that's what England